Hello everyone, welcome back. As you guys can see from the title, today we are going to do a comparison swatch video of this palette right over here. This is the Retro Glam palette, so I'm very excited to share it with you guys. Now I have a wonderful pile of eyeshadow palettes that we are going to be comparing it to. So I have quite a bit to go through in this video. I wanted to get this done as soon as possible, but as you guys know, with shipping and everything, this was taking a very long time, and I finally was able to get the palettes. I purchased actually 2 different palettes for this video, not just for the video, but also for myself because I really wanted to have them. So I'm here to compare, swatch and compare. I have used this palette completely, so I have my thoughts on it as well and what I think about it. So I'll let you guys know at the end of the video about this palette. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so just to give you a quick background of this palette is $69. This is the latest from Natasha Denona. She had intentions of bringing the retro palette with the glam palette and them having a baby. And that's what you end up getting here. You're getting your greens and pinks with them being all cool tone, which is a beautiful combination. You don't see this often in the market, honestly. This was very hard for me to choose. I only had like two to three that I knew were going to be like exact. Like I'm not having this kind of color story over and over in my collection, let alone in the market. So I thought it was very smart of her to pull out. So since I already have used this palette, because I've told you guys that I've had this one for quite a while now, I will share with you guys and insert swatches of this palette so you guys can see what this palette entails. Okay, so the first palette I decided to go ahead and compare it to was the Mini Zendo palette. As you guys can clearly see, I would say off the bat, if you are not into this color story, I think the small mini one would be perfect for you. It's just enough. You're getting what you want, but it's not overbearing and overwhelming. My personal opinion, I would have just stuck with this one, but I'm happy that I tried this because this is out of my comfort zone. Like this is out of my comfort zone, and I have liked every look that I've come up with. It's just this is not a color story I'm gonna reach for often, and I already can tell that by just knowing my own personal preference. So let's get started on the swatching. Let's start out with the shimmery pink over here. I can tell you right now there is no similar one. This is way too white base, as you guys can clearly see, and this is a very pinky toned base. So these two are nothing. There's nothing in this palette that represents this one. Now, as far as this green, this is a very silver green based, and I'm just going to share with you guys certain swatches on my fingers so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this one is from the mini, and then these 3 are from the new palette. You can guys clearly see that it does not compare. Don't mind these bumps, you guys. I got bit by a bug that just continued to bite me. As it crawled, it continued to bite me. It was like stuck under my watch, and it just kept biting me. As you guys can see, it was an isolated kill there. And it is healing, so I know it looks gross, but I only have one arm to swatch on, so I got to do what I got to do. So this one's on the mini, and then these are from the larger palette. As you guys can see, this is a lot more beige than green. So there is nothing exactly like this in this new palette. Same thing goes with this matte. This matte is very dark green. There are 2 mattes in here that are dark, and as you guys can see, they're not exactly the same. This is here and here. You guys can see. This one right here is the one from the mini, and then these 2 right here from the larger palette. This is a lot more gray toned, and this one's a lot more vibrant green. So this one's like a brown green. So you're not getting anything exactly the same as well. Now let's talk about this salmony shade right here, the salmony pink. This is very white base, and if I were to compare it to the closest one, it's very rosy toned. So again, not exactly the same. And now when you look at this pink one right here, the closest to it would be this red, but obviously you could see a very big difference between both of them, so they're not going to be the same. So if you're curious if this is in here, just pulled out, nope, you're getting very, very different shades. So it all depends on what you are interested in and what you're going to use them for. But it's up to you whether you want the larger one to have more variety or you're content with the little one. Okay, so a ton of you, the first thing you guys mentioned was that you wanted to see it up against this palette right here. And I have used this palette. I can tell you 100% now that I have used every single shadow in this specific palette on my eyes and repeated it. Like, I've used this palette for 2 weeks straight now. So I have a very good idea of what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Totally different formulas. Totally different formulas off the bat, but you could tell that it's a very similar color story. So first thing I see is this pink one right here, and then this one right here. It's similar, but I feel like the Natasha Denona has more white to it than rosy pink, as you guys can see. They are similar, but not exactly the same. Not exactly the same. Let's go for this one in Crown. This is more like a very, very sheer topper versus Oscar. Nope, completely different. Let's try Flutter, which is a topper. That's even more sparkly. So that's not even, look how sheer that is from Lime Crime. Very, very sheer. Oh, by the way, I didn't say this is the Lime Crime Venus XL2 palette. I believe it's what it's called. Okay, so let's move on to Sage. And we're going to go with this shade right here in their Sage. So they're both named Sage and they both are very different. So this one is, ooh, look at that difference. One's more blue toned and one's more green toned. And I believe this one's from the Venus. And then this one's from the Natasha Denona. One of you guys will correct me if I'm wrong. But they're not the same at all. Let's see. We have none of these shades here. Stellar. Ooh, Myth. Nope. With this shade maybe? No. Still not the same. Wow, that's very sheer. You guys can see the quality of the Lime Crime is not the best. Not the best. Ivy maybe? No, I still feel like that's very, very green base. Let's try it with this one. In Pandemonium. That's very white based. Locust. See how dark that is? Ooh, that's a pretty one, but that's more brown. So let's compare it to Jazzy and Maxi. Oh no, they're completely different. See that? They're very completely different here. Anything else you guys see? Obscure is a very, maybe this one? No. This one? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We're going to swatch it here. No. Still nothing. So you're seeing here the similarities, but not exactly the same dupes. And these are very shimmery. Like this is very white based here. Those are pretty similar, just different quality. Like this is a little bit darker. A little bit deeper than the one in the Natasha Denona. So you're seeing similarities, but not exactly the dupes. And I can tell you right now off the bat, Natasha Denona formula is 100 times better than this formula completely. I tried to pan this shadow right here, and you guys can see that it got a lot of hard pan rather quickly. So this is a palette that has a lot of hit or misses. If I were to pick between these two, I would 100% go with the Natasha Denona solely for the formula. I could care less about these bronzy shades because I have these over and over in my collection, so that's not a deal breaker for me. It is the formula that's a deal breaker, so I would choose this one over this one hands down. Okay, so some of you have requested that I swatch it over the Mint To Be palette by ColourPop. So I figured, okay, let's do the mints in here, shall we? So Play It Cool here looks like Pandemonium. Pandemonium's a lot more white. It has more white base, and the one in Mint To Be has more green to it. Yeah, you can see that in the swatch. This has more green. This has more, definitely a white base on it. So they're not the same. Let's see. Let's try Marlin and then Freshman maybe. No. Marlin seems to be more cooler toned, and this one has more green to it. See how that one's look a little bit deeper and a little more cooler toned? So again, not the same. What about this matte? This matte? Oh, we can go for Fringe and Get Fresh maybe? Nope, Get Fresh is a lot more minty. So this is Fringe and Get Fresh. See, this is a lot more white based. So nope, not it either. We're getting close though. You're getting the vibes. You're getting the vibes, but it's not 100% exact. And then maybe Chill Factor, Evergreen, no. Or Sage. Nope, Sage is more white base. So again, not the same. Not the same. So you guys can see in the swatches, you're getting the vibe, but you're not getting exactly the same dupe. So if you are just interested in the greens, go with the ColourPop. If you don't like the pinks, just stick with the ColourPop and you should be able to get the same vibes out of this and just insert whatever shade you want. Save yourself a ton of money on this one. So there it is, you guys. There is the difference between both of them. Hope that helped. All right, you guys. So I went ahead and purchased the Anastasia Nouveau palette. You guys had mentioned that you were interested in seeing the swatches of this one. I can tell you off the bat right now, this one is not exactly the same color story as this one. I can only see maybe 3 shades at most, 3 or 4 shades that are looking the same. I don't see that many that are going to be the same. So I haven't played around with this palette yet, so I don't know the quality of it. I can't attest to it, but we're going to see here. So Wings is the first one that I'm going to swatch with. Maybe, no, a little bit deeper. Marlin. Let's go with Oz maybe. Nope, too deep. So here is the Natasha Denona Wings. Here is Merlin, and here is Oz. Too dark. Maybe Oscar. Oscar, nope, too beige. That's it, you guys. Those are the only ones that I can see that would work with it. Liberty is like a dark green. Oh, this is a beautiful green. Oh, that looks very close to maybe Evergreen. No, Evergreen is way too green. Maybe this one in Fire. No, that's very, very cool tone. Can you see that? It has gray in it. Wow. What about, no, Sage. Lucy. No, Lucy's very, very cooler toned in there. Okay, and then the other shade would be Hope. Hope. Let's see. Hope is very dark, kind of like a gold green. So I can't see anything working for this one because this is a warmer tone green than anything in here. Yeah, I can't see. Like this sticks out like a sore thumb when you compare it to the rest of them. So that there's going to be nothing in here that's going to look like Hope. That's it. Oh, Fleur. Let's do Fleur. Oh, that's pretty. And Belle. Okay. Still too salmony. That's very salmony peachy. This is Rosy. I feel like we're getting that a lot. And then Holly's way too white base. So yeah, that's not going to work. So this is what you're seeing here. Not too many similarities, to be honest with you, you guys. I don't feel like this palette. Let me see. Muse. I forgot Muse and Jazzy. Maybe like a brown. Go figure. Nope, still not the same. This one is from Anastasia and then Natasha Denona. Very different. Very different. And Belle seems to be very warm tone. Yeah, it's like a warm tone gold. So no, you guys, so sorry. This one's not going to work either. This is not really giving me 100% the vibes. I'm not even going to say like this is very comparable. This is leaning a lot more warmer tone than this one is. So if you want the same scheme of colors but don't want a lot of greens and you want it to be warmer tone, I'd go with this one because this is a lot more warmer tone definitely than you're going with this one. All right, you guys. So this literally arrived at my doorstep today, and this was what was holding me up to do this video. So this is the Sydney Gray singles from Mel. Mel created this. Now I do not have it in the same arrangement as Mel had it in her video or in her photo because I wanted to get this together just to get this video up for you guys. So we are going to see if there are any similarities. Some people, I know a lot of you guys were interested in the difference between both of them. I will tell you, just looking at these both, Mel has a lot more depth as far as the color stories. She has a little bit of a purple. She has a little bit more brighter greens in here. And these shades right over here are very different. She has a lot more pinks in here as well, as you guys can see. So you're getting a ton more variety in the Mel's bundle. This is only 60 bucks and this one is 69, and you're getting more shades in here. So you guys know I love the Sydney Grace formula as well. Like, this is top notch for me as well. So if you're interested, I would actually like this a lot. So let's get started on these. I can tell you right now, this shade right here and maybe this one. Ooh, look at that, you guys. So this is from Sydney Grace, and this, when you swatch them out, they're very different though. Close, but no cigar. So let's try this shadow right here. Ooh, that's so pretty. I'm gonna try Oz. Oh, very close again. But not exactly the same, but very close. I feel like the Sydney Grace has a lot more shine to it than the Natasha Denona one does. Ooh. I am going to swatch this shadow right here. Ooh, like, oh, that would have been cool. No, this one I know is shiny, but I just figured, see how the depth is almost there, but not quite from Sydney Grace. Sydney Grace's is very, very impactful, like a lot more impactful. So if you want these colors to shine more, I would go with the Sydney Grace, hands down. This shadow and this one maybe? Ooh, nope, this one's. So these two right here, very similar, but again, the Sydney Grace one has a lot more warmth to it than the Natasha Denona. This shadow right here and this one, finally something similar, but not exactly. Sydney Grace, and then the Natasha Denona is a lot more red base. This is a lot more pink base, and then the one from Natasha Denona is a lot more red based. Let's see. This shadow right here with Maxi. Ooh, very similar. What? Look at that. Let's try Jazzy. See if that one, no, not quite, but very close. Like, these two would be almost close. This just has a little bit more purple base to it. Anything else? Anything else? I would say maybe this one, but this is a little bit more, yeah, this is very, very green than versus that one, yeah. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Nope, that's not going to work. I think that would be it, you guys, as far as the similarities go. So what do I think about these two? I feel like you're getting a lot more variety in the Sydney Grace. Sydney Grace is 10 times more impactful, as you guys can see. The vibrancy of these shadows is ridiculous as far as her shimmer shades go. Like, I'll just show you this one. This one's just calling my name. Look at this. Calling my name. That is a gorgeous shade. I cannot wait to put that on my eyeballs. But do I think that it's exactly the same? No. You are getting the vibes. You are getting the vibes. Miss Mel, even before she passed, knew her color stories and had an idea of what this could possibly be. Her mini retro palette. What could it have been if it would have been made into a bigger palette? So it's very similar, you guys. Very similar. And Sydney Grace's formula, chef's kiss. Let me tell you, I love Sydney Grace's singles. Very, very beautiful. And I'm really, really liking this. I'm really enjoying this. And she did get the vibes. At least most of these are cooler tones. So she got it. She got it. Miss Mel got it. So again, that's up to you guys. You're getting a little, obviously more variety here for a less price. Great quality shadows. You're not going to be disappointed. If you like the Natasha Denona formula and you want more cooler tones, more of a specific way color story, then I'd go with this one. Okay, guys, so I wanted to show you a screenshot of all of the palettes overall, what they would look like as a whole. I want you guys to take a look at this to see exactly, this is your Natasha Denona, and these are what I compared it to. So what do I think? What do I think? I think my best My best duping vibes of it would be Sydney Grace, would be obviously the Venus one from Lime Crime. I think it's very close, but it comes down to the quality. Sydney Grace, you're gonna get the amazing quality. You're hands down, like, you're not gonna be disappointed at all. I've raved about Sydney Grace for years for a good reason. Sydney Grace would be my top pick. If you do not want to spend the money on Natasha Denona, Sydney Grace is my top pick. Anastasia is way too warm toned. The color pop is only greens. The midi palette would be my second best if you are going for a condensed version of the larger palette. So this would be my second best choice. Third choice would be the Lime Crime one. That would be the order I would choose it as. These two, I wouldn't choose them at all. It's just if you're looking for a specific version. So this would be choice 1, choice 2, choice 3 in them. Overall, I'm very content. I'm happy. I don't feel like I wasted my money by buying 2 additional palettes because I don't feel like they're exactly the same. So I don't have repetition in my collection. This is warmer toned. This one's giving me a lot more variety, a lot more color scheme, a lot more ways that I can take this versus this one. This is solely cool toned and a specific look I am going for. So I'm very, very happy with this. I shocked because I really thought I was going to find something very close or even very like a lot of tones that would be the same, but no. I don't see anything that's overlapping in any of these palettes. Okay, you guys, overall, what do I think of the Natasha Denona Retro palette? This is a very specific and a very niche eyeshadow palette because, one, if you like cool tones, this is something you'd enjoy. If you want cool tones, but you don't want a bunch of browns, this is a nice way to go because these colors are, it's a colorful palette, but it's not in your face. It doesn't, you're not walking around wearing vibrant greens or hot pinks or, you know, shiny metallic-y greens in your eyes. Like, this is actually a pretty good palette to dip your feet into color and cool tones without you looking like you really went like from 0 to 60. It's a really good palette to do that for. Quality is there, no complaints at all whatsoever. Everything showed up, everything wore beautifully. I did not have any complaints about any fallout. There's only one cream shadow in here if that is something that bothers you. There's one shade that is a sparkling topper that I've swatched for you guys, so you guys saw that as well. Overall, I like it. I don't love it. And it's all coming down to personal preference because I am not a person that loves cool tones. So I don't see myself using this as much as, say, the Dream palette. The Dream palette is like, I love that palette. This one, I like it. I don't regret buying it because it is out of my own comfort zone. It's something that I can go for and know that I'm going to love every look, but it's not something I want to reach for constantly. So for me, it's a personal thing. I don't see anything wrong with this palette. Now, you guys have seen this pile of eyeshadow palettes. What is it compared to? How do you like it? So now you guys can make an educated choice, whether you're content with one of these that you already own or you would want to purchase this one. I'm pretty sure Natasha Denona is having some sort of sale or will be having some sort of sale this weekend. I'm hoping to get this video up as soon as possible so you guys can see this video. I am having a lot of fun with this palette. I've been able to work this palette in with warm tones as well, and it has worked beautifully. I haven't had zero complaints, no complaints, because I can also throw in 1 or 2 of these shadows in with warm tones, and it has worked beautifully. So that to me made me feel better as well. So this all comes down to your personal preference, what tones you like, if you like this color story, or would you prefer to get the smaller version? And this is still available, so you can get this smaller version if you're interested. I love the smaller one a lot more than the larger one, but that's because, again, why I explained it to you guys, why I would have just stuck with this one versus this one. But I'm not upset that I have it. I'm happy that I was able to compare these for you guys, and you guys can make an educated choice on what it is that you guys want to do with this new palette. And I will say that this new packaging that she did, really cool. Really dig it. Really like that she's taken the time to think about her outer packaging as well to make these very unique and not this just plain solid color like she has been doing. It's unique, and I appreciate that very much because I feel like she's putting a lot of thought into this as well. So that is it, you guys. I will link all of these eyeshadow palettes down in the description box. I think most of these are still available. If they are not, I will still link, put them down in the description box so you guys can check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being so patient with me with getting these in to get this video up for you guys, and the fact that I have these yucky little bumps all over my arm. It's not contagious, so don't think my makeup's getting contagious. We all good. We all good. All right, guys, that's all that I have for you guys. More videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, adios.